Hello, good folks. I'm going to just share just a little bit about tapping a transformer. This is just going to be a short little video. Uh, Basically, all you're doing is a transformer has windings in it. And if you've got a varying voltage, say it's supposed to be a 480 to a 120, that's a 4 to 1. Well, what if you got 540 volts coming in? Well, your secondary is going to be off. It's going to have high voltage. So several transformers are, designed where they have different taps at different locations in your windings so that you can manipulate the voltage. And that's what this video is going to be about. And I'm going to show you just a couple little things about it. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something. But the main thing is don't try this or do any of this unless you're a qualified electrician. The basic information on a transformer is it's a ratio of the windings of the primary versus the secondary. So in other words, if you've got a 4 to 1 winding, so if you got a 480 and you got a 120, that's 4 to 1. 4 times 120 equals 480. So, you got your primary and your secondary. I've got a drawing right here. So you've got your primary volts and your windings, and you got your secondary. Now, what I've had a lot of questions about is they'll see a wiring. They don't know how to wire it up by looking at this diagram right here because there's so many different, numbers, which signals, what wires it's got to be connected to. So what I want you to think about is this is called a multi-tap transformer. So you got multi-taps based on your primary. Your secondary right here, it shows, now this one, we can go into more detail later on, in some more lessons or something. But, right now, we're going to look at it as just a primary going to a 240 volt secondary. So this is typical of what you're going to see on a nameplate with a wiring schematic on a transformer that has a multi-tap. It's a single phase transformer, and this one's going from 480 to 240. Now, what we have here is we've got several different windings. And like I said, it's a ratio of the windings from the primary to the windings on the secondary. And each of these little loops right here, that's symbolizing a winding. And each of these designations, H1, H2, all the way through H8, that's actually the wires that's coming out of your transformer box so that you can tap in or connect your power wires to them. And it also tells which ones need to be interconnected. So the deal is we're wanting 240 volt. So this is telling us, it gives on the drawing right here. If you look, primary volts, if we got 500 volts, 504 coming in, 492, 480, 468. So if we got any of these voltage right here, it's telling us how to tap it so that we can get 240 volts. So that's where, a lot of people get a little bit confused on it. And then what you want to do is, let's just take, for instance, we've got 492 volts, which is right here. So that's going to come right across. It says interconnect H3 and H5. So if we interconnect H3 and H5, we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to wire nut these two wires together right there. What's that doing? Your flow is going through here. It's shorting out past H3 and H4. So we're knocking these, that down and out of the circuit completely so that we have less windings that we're dealing with. Okay, and then that ratio right there, we go in here and we look at our secondary. It says interconnect X2 to X3. So X2 to X3, we're going to tie those two wires together right there. Whether it be with a jumper, whether it's going to be with a wire nut, however, it's going to be, we're going to tie X2 and X3 together. Then it says connect lines 2. your line, since this is a single phase, we got a L1, L2 coming in, and we got X1, X2, or actually, we got our 110 hot and neutral coming out. Well, actually, I'm sorry about that. We got 240. So we're going to have 120 coming out and 120, and combined, they're going to make 240 volts. So we'll have L1, L2 coming out. So actually, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our voltage that's coming in, our L1. It says connect it. So here's going to be line 1. We're going to connect it to H1. And right here it says H8. So here's going to be our L2. We're going to connect it right here. And then down here it says secondary volts. Connect lines 2, X1. So that will be our secondary L1. Connected to that. This will be our secondary L2 connected to that, which will give us 240 volts on the secondary. And we're dealing with, since we had to choose this is what we had as power coming in. Now, if we had this, then it's going to be a different, connection point right here. Now, a lot of people, they say, well, what do you do with these, wires right here? Well, let's think about it. If we got power coming in here and it's going through these windings right here is the path that it's going to take. It's going to go there, through here, all the way through here. Now, can it go from up to here? Can it go up to here? Can it go up to here? Yes, it can. So what we want to do is we want to cap these wires right there so that they cannot, if power does go through it, or if they ground out or anything else, it's not going to go ahead and short out and let the circuit go ahead and be bypassed or shorted or shock something or whatever. So anyway, that's what we want to do. We want to connect our L1 to H1, which is going to go through here, and we find out what path based on the interconnection right here, based on our voltage that we have, and we select this. That's our jumper, which is going to go ahead and bypass however many windings that we need, and then the windings that we don't use, we cap them off so that they are not going to go ahead and then have another path to ground or another path, to a circuit. And then we're going ahead and connect up our L2 to the 8, which that's going to complete the circuit right here. And what happens in a transformer is whatever our voltage coming in right here, it goes ahead and it makes inductance, which actually goes ahead and it transfers and induces a voltage on the secondary. So basically, that's it in a nutshell, folks. We're just actually going ahead and we're reducing or adding the amount of windings on our primary compared to the ratio of the windings on our secondary. So if this helped you out or anything else, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and you smash that subscribe button, which will go ahead and lead you into new teachings and more videos on other topics concerning manufacturing, maintenance, troubleshooting, and skill sets. And we thank you and see you on the next video.